welcome to the deserts of Bahrain, where the Formula One circus has rolled into town. We're expecting the cars to appear out on track shortly to start today's practice session. Now then, Anthony Davidson, there's been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about track limits. How much is too much when you're cutting corners and running wide? What are your thoughts on this? And do you think we'll be seeing drivers pushing those limits this weekend?
Well, I'd be disappointed if we didn't, frankly. If race control want to clamp down on drivers wandering off the track, then it's up to them to police it. As a driver, you're being paid to get your car around the circuit as quickly as possible, don't forget. So if you're not pushing those limits, if you're ignoring the advantageous line, then you're not doing your job properly. Now, I agree that, we have these white lines there for a reason, and we do want to see those limits enforced, but for me, it's not a driver's responsibility to do that.
Okay, the track is green right now, so take a few laps to get the tyres up to temperature. Try and feel your way around. setup, that's what practice is for. We want to be quick, but we also want to be comfortable and consistent. Let's find that balance.
felt pretty good. Let's go with that shit.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are... The cars are ready, the drivers are ready. We hope you're ready as qualifying is about to begin here in Bahrain. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximizing top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
Fuck that turn. Nice.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are Button, Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
Alright, let's go.
Hello and welcome from the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir, where the drivers are down on the grid going through the last checks with their engineers before we can get underway. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and 2 DRS zones will help with that as well. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. I won't be commentating alone today, of course. Nope, I have the honour to share this commentary box with none other than Anthony Davidson. And you and I were talking earlier today about how tight that midfield battle is compared to the last couple of years. Why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose the main reason is simply stability in the regulations. Look at what we had towards the end of the V8 era. In 2012, we had 7 winners in 7 races. And we talk about the dominance of Red Bull at that time, but their advantage was rarely more than 2 or 3 tenths of a second. And we've had this current formula now for a couple of years, and that serves to solve any teething troubles with reliability. And let's not forget that these cars are more technical than ever before, so it was always going to take a bit of time for those gaps to come down.
Right,
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. A fantastic lap from Jenson Button yesterday sees him start from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Rosberg, Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Alonso, Bottas and Sergio Perez, Massa, Grosjean, Nico Hülkenberg and Sainz, Gutierrez, Kvyat, Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein, Haryanto and Magnussen, Felipe Nasser and Jolyon Palmer rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Son of a bitch. Fuck.
We've been awarded
Ah, I
a
got
time penalty. We'll go against our finishing time.
Ah, I
at the
gotta
end of the
haul
race.
Whoa, dude, really?
The front wing is badly damaged. You've lost a lot of downforce on the car. Pit and we'll fit you a new front wing. We're considering switching to an alternate strategy. Do you want to change or stick to
Fuck.
plan A?
Fuck me up. Can't believe this shit. Can't believe you fucked me up like that. Fuck it, I'm not. Damn, the fuck's that? It's me again, man. What the fuck? Oh, dude, I gotta go in. Damn it. Hurry the fuck up.
Release, release. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track. DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Damn.
This is your final lap of
Fuck.
the race. Let's push harder next time, okay?
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium. And as the drive... And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Kimi Raikkonen takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, I have to give it to Kimi Raikkonen. Consistency, good battle, sensible driving. He can be pleased with that performance today.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, though, goodbye.